It's the week of April 19th, 2022. My name is Natalie.
And I am Rosie. Welcome to your Ruth Fisher.
Today's first story is about a pink flamingo, but not just any pink flamingo. This bird, nicknamed Pink Floyd, escaped from a Kansas zoo all the way back in 2005. He has been on the run ever since. Back then, some of the caretakers were running behind schedule in getting the flamingo's wings clipped. Pink Floyd and his friend, number 347, decided to make a break. Number 347 flew north towards Michigan, while Pink Floyd headed south towards Texas. He has since been in Wisconsin, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas on numerous occasions. In 2006 and 2007, the escapee even found a companion, a Caribbean flamingo, who probably arrived in the U.S. from Mexico during hurricanes Rita and Katrina. While last month, a Jackson County resident named David Foreman noticed the elegant, long-legged bird while fishing near Port Lavaca on the Texas Gulf Coast on March 10, 2022. Foreman became aware of Pink Floyd's daring stunt after posting the footage on social media. That's when people started telling me, "Oh, that's probably the escaped flamingo," he said. The hunch was confirmed by the Texas Parks and Wildlife officials. The experts say that though Foreman could not see the flamingo's tag, they are confident it was Pink Floyd. Despite the frequent sightings, the specifics of Pink Floyd's journey to the west, south, central states remain a mystery. Also unclear its gender and age. While the zoo officials suspect Pink Floyd is a male in his 20s, neither fact has been verified. The good news is that they have no plans of bringing the runaway flamingo back to Kansas. Jenica King, a spokesperson for the Sedgwick County Zoo, says, "We decided very early on, once he flew down to Texas, that we would not make any efforts that could potentially harm him or harm the wildlife around him."
The city of Buckeye is looking to make some major upgrades to the Buckeye City Airport. If you have ever been to the Buckeye Airport, you've seen it. The airport is located south of the I-10 freeway on the west side of Palo Verde Road. The potential upgrades to the airport would include zoning for commercial development, like restaurants and hotels, as well as retail locations. The plan will also include building upgrades, new landscapes, along with new fencing and walls. Many people in the city feel that as Buckeye and the West Valley continue to grow, having an airport that is able to keep up with the demands will be important. The Buckeye City Council discussed and voted on the airport development project last week. We will keep you updated in the future about any other possible changes to the area. Now, let's go over to Mr. Dobish with a weekly update.
Good morning, Ruth Fisher Colts. It is Ruth Fisher News, and I disappeared last time. So a couple quick announcements for this coming week. Obviously, you've probably heard it over and over again. I will say it again. Testing is this week. So we do have the reading section of the state assessment coming up here on Wednesday. So make sure you take your time, read the passages, find the evidence to support your answers in the text, and take your time, do your very best. And then Thursday will then be the math test. So 2 parts of the math test will be done, 2 units of the math test will be administered on Thursday. So again, take your time, use the scratch paper, show your work, work out the problems, and if you do those things, you'll do very well on those. And if you're here both days, hey, you're done with state testing for the year. So take your time, do well. Other announcements, obviously, we just want to remind you as the school year winds down and we get closer to the end, very important for you to follow expectations here on campus. So make sure you're treating teachers with respect, treating yourself with respect, and still continue to do work. Even though we're done with state testing, we still have 4 or 5 more weeks of school to go. Depends if we count the last week of school or not. But it is important that you will be learning every single one of those days all the way through the end of the year. 'Cause again, now we're preparing for the rest of this year, and we're actually now preparing for what is to come for next school year too. So end the school year strong, so you're ready for your next grade level. That's it. That's big announcements. Again, baseball and softball continue this week, so they got some of their first wins last week, so keep it up, and we'll see you guys all around campus.
Thank you, Mr. Dobish. Here's Jay with sports.
Welcome to sports. My name is Jay. The Diamondbacks started their season with a dramatic walk-off 3-1 homer. The D-backs beat the Padres in the first game of the new season by a final score of 4-2. They then lost the next 3 games of the series and are currently 1-3, sitting in last place in the NL West. The Arizona Coyotes only have a few games left in the season. While they were not going to be making the playoff this year, things were starting to look up, until one of the team's top scorers, Clayton Keller, fell weirdly into the boards a couple of weeks ago and broke his femur. He will be out until at least the summertime, when he can return to getting ready for the new season. The Suns have finished their regular season and playoffs just started. This was a huge year for the Suns, setting franchise records with 64 wins, 47-0 when leading with 3, and an 18-game win streak. It will be very exciting to see how they do in the coming weeks. That is all for today. See you next time on Sports.
Thanks, Jay. Let's go over to Kelsey with entertainment news. Welcome back to Entertainment News. I'm Kelsey. This summer is shaping up to be a big one for the movies. It's always nice on a hot Arizona day to go into a cool movie theater, lay back, and see a new movie. Well, here are a few movies coming out between now and summer that you might be interested in. First up, Around the World in 80 Days, a young marmoset and frog take off on a surprise-filled adventure around the world. This one will be in theaters on May 6th. Then on June 17th, the movie Lightyear hits theaters. This is the story of Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies. This movie will not feature Tim Allen's voice as Buzz Lightyear, but instead Chris Evans. Then on July 1st, Minions: The Rise of Gru premieres. This is the story of young Gru and how he developed into the supervillain he wanted to be. See you next time on Entertainment News.
Thank you, Kelsey. Here's Josh with Fun Fact Trivia.
Welcome to Fun Fact Trivia. My name is Josh. Did you know that today, April 19th, is National Hanging Out Day? We aren't talking about spending time with your friends or family. This day requires communities to learn about the benefits, both financially and environmentally, of using a clothesline for drying laundry. According to Project Laundry List website, clothes dryers account for an astonishing 6 to 10% of residential energy consumption. Your question today is, when was the first electric clothes dryer invented? Is it A, 1925, B, 1937, or C, 1945? You have 10 seconds to make your decision. If you said B, 1937, you're correct. Henry W. Altorfer invented what is likely the first electric clothes dryer in 1937, but J. Ross Moore, an inventor from North Dakota, developed designs for an automatic clothes dryer during the early 20th century. His design for an electrically operated dryer was developed and released to the public in 1938. Fun fact, industrial designer Brooks Stephen developed the first electric dryer with glass window a few years later in the 1940s. See you next week on Fun Fact Trivia.
Thanks, Josh. Let's go over to Cameron and Kelsey with Joke of the Week. Hello, and welcome to Joke of the Week. My name is Kelsey.
And I am Cameron.
So, Cameron, what is your joke?
Where do cows go for entertainment?
I don't know. Where do cows go for entertainment?
The movies.
Great joke. If you have a joke and would like to tell it on the news, please go to smusd.me/beonthenews, and we would love to have you on.
See you next time on Joke of the Week.
Thanks, girls. Here's Gabriel with This Week in History.
Hello and welcome to This Week in History. I'm Gabriel. On April 19th, 1897, John J. McDormand of New York won the first Boston Marathon with a time of 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 10 seconds. The Boston Marathon was the idea of Boston Athletic Association member and inaugural U.S. Olympic team manager John Graham, who was inspired by the marathon at the first modern Olympic Games in Athens in 1896. With the assistance of Boston businessman Herbert H. Holton, various routes were considered before a measured distance of 24.5 miles from the Irvington Oval in Boston to Metcalfe's Mill in Ashland was eventually selected. 15 runners started the race, but only 10 made it to the finish line. Although he walked several times during the final miles, McDormand still won by a comfortable 6 minutes 52 seconds. McDormand had won the only other marathon on U.S. soil the previous October in New York. The marathon distance was changed in 1908 in accordance with the Olympic standards to its current length of 26 miles and 385 yards. The Boston Marathon was originally held on Patriots' Day, April 19th, a regional holiday that commemorates the beginning of the Revolutionary War. In years when the 19th fell on Sunday, the race was held the following Monday in 1969. Patriots' Day was officially moved to the third Monday in April, and the race has been held on that Monday ever since. See you next week on This Week in History.
Let's go right back to Gabriel with science time.
Welcome to Science Time. My name is Gabriel. In 2020, Stan, one of the world's largest and most complete T-Rex skeletons, was auctioned for a record $27.5 million. The precious fossil was bought by an anonymous private buyer and led many paleontologists to worry that the T-Rex was lost to science forever. As it turns out, they had nothing to worry about. On March 23rd, 2022, the officials of Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, revealed that the 39-foot-long T-Rex will be a star attraction in their new Natural History Museum, scheduled to open in 2025. Now that Stan has a new home at the Natural History Museum Abu Dhabi, this 67-billion-year-old dinosaur will be in the care of expert scientists and will continue to contribute to education and research and inspire future explorers, the Abu Dhabi Department of Culture and Tourism said in a news release. See you next week with more Science Time.
Thanks, Gabriel. Let's go over to Cameron with Word of the Week.
Welcome to Word of the Week. My name is Cameron. This week's word is convoluted. Convoluted is an adjective and it means very complicated and difficult to understand. Here's how you can use it in a sentence. Our textbook has a detailed drawing of the convoluted surface of the brain. See you next time on Word of the Week.
Thanks, Cameron. That is all for this episode of RFN.
See you next week. Go